Welcome to this week's live stream. I'm super stoked. November 2023, this month has been all about energy. How do we cultivate energy? How do we become more resilient energetically? This is the one tool that we have that has a lot of power in creating more balance and also more health in our lives. But, how do we cultivate energy? How do we use it to build more resilience? Ciao, buongiorno, de Italia. Pranjal is here. Good morning. Hi, Sophia. Wonderful to see you both here this morning. Thank you for saying hello. So without further ado, every week we come together here. The whole idea with this live stream, this YouTube live stream that I'm doing, is to really get to communicate, share with you some topic all related to mind-body alignment. And this is where I offer you some insight and invite you to also respond, comment, and ask questions, because we want to move ourselves toward optimal health. Know that we can live an optimally healthy life. And, the way that I do that is I integrate different healing methodologies, healing mechanisms, from scientific, medical, to, of course, very holistic approaches, because there's a lot to be said about holistic approaches that are especially effective for long-term health. I think that allopathic medicine is super important, and that we want to use it to assist us when there's an emergency, when we need, a surgeon, if we've broken our arms, or we have a hernia that has exploded, or something is going on with our heart valves and we need a professional, an MD that is a surgeon. We want access to that, and that's important. In my experience so far, as a mind-body alignment specialist, as a practitioner over more than 2 decades, what I've seen is that for a healthy everyday life, we need to cultivate and nurture rituals, daily steps to help us move into healthier lifestyle, how we think, what we put in our mouths, right? What we nourish our bodies with, our minds, our hearts, and our spirit. All of these are super important in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle that is different than an emergency situation. So, good morning. Hi, Anali is here. Virtual hug to you, my dear. Thank you for being here. I'm delighted to see you. So, without further ado, I want to talk this week about the power within. This is Energy Month. November, we're talking about energy. How do we harness this wellspring of energy in our bodies? How can we maintain, cultivate, nurture, and make a high energy lifestyle a very common and ongoing occurrence? So, I'm really interested myself in how to cultivate this wellspring of energy, right? To foster resilience in my body and also in my mind. When things tend to go out of alignment, when things tend to be a little bit off, we can really be hard on ourselves, and it's very hard for our mental states. So today, I want to explore a couple of practices to help us into becoming more balanced, accelerate healing in our lives, and really start to feel that there's a possibility that whatever it is you're going through is movable, that we can move these different parts of us energetically, physically, spiritually, that there are ways that we can move out of our stuckness. So we've talked about this last week a little bit, this inner life force that I'm talking about, this vital energy, your personal power. These are all terms that are used to describe this beautiful energetic force that I am inviting you to communicate with me with this month. And the first thing to know about this, that I found anyways, is, really being able to harness this energetic power that we all have within us is to understand its presence first and foremost that it's here, it's present all the time within us. Our job is to be able to tap into it, to nurture it, to enliven it, especially when you're going through a difficult time. Now, this is not to say when you're going through a difficult time in life, it's okay to sit back and to release, right? It's not like we're going to move through, we're going to push through everything. But what we do want to tap into is that we have this extra source that we can cultivate, that is available to us at any time, and especially when we don't feel good. Because if you're going through a physical ailment, let's say you have fever, you're not feeling good on any given day, you have heart palpitations, it takes a lot of energy for your body to heal itself. And the most important thing we can do to actually maintain our energy, to cultivate inner resilience, is to simply slow down. And you know, in our culture, slowing down is not a very popular way of being. We're very ambitious. And certainly, I'm that girl too. I'm super ambitious. I'm excited, right? I always want to learn more, to know more. But what I've learned over time as I'm getting older is that the more I learn to cultivate resilience within my energy force, to just kind of relax, lay down, take it easy, to energize myself, to reset my neurological connections, then of course, I tend to see life from the glass half full perspective, because I know that this too shall pass. So if you're feeling like you're struggling through life, I want to invite you to really tap into our session today, to really see if there are any areas where I'm suggesting that you could also tap into and assist you in cultivating this inner resilience so that you might have more energy in your life and that you don't get thrown off so easily. Right? So if something happens in your life or somebody says something to you and you feel personally affected, how might you build more inner resilience to let go of what other people might think about you? This is a very big time in our history to tap into technology, right? There's a lot of comparison going on in the world right now. So we want to cultivate this inner resilience so that we're not so affected by what other people think. And what I mean by other people is not just strangers. It's your siblings, your family environment, your friends. Sometimes they may have opinions that don't resonate with your own. And you have a right to your own state of being. You have a right to not buy into how other people view you. So this is really a class today on how to cultivate resilience so that you might continue to increase, connect with, and tap into your energy source. And the first thing we need to know, again, is to understand its presence. It's always in your body. Your energetic force is not an elusive concept. It's a very real, tangible, and even transformative force. And when it's consciously cultivated, when you are in relationship with your energetic fields, of course, this leads to a life and a sensation of increased resilience in your body, but also in how you move through life. It can bring about a really deep, ongoing healing. And that results in an enduring level of balance so that overall, even if you go through a hard time, you're still feeling balanced in your life. You can feel off balance for a moment. That's fair and that's real. We do feel that in life. However, overall, the idea is to be able to tap in and cultivate balance on a regular basis, more than being off balance. So I want to talk about a couple of practices that I hope will be helpful to you. All right, I'm just going to check in with everyone here. So far, so good. Give me a yes in the comments if you're following me, if this is making sense to you, if you're understanding how the importance of being present so that you might feel that energy column, that energetic movement through your body. Let me know if you're someone who feels energetic in their lives or if you struggle with maintaining energy, because I'm going to share a couple of ways for you to tap into. And the first one I'm going to share with you is something that you've heard about, I'm quite sure. It's called grounding or earthing. Earthing. Grounding and earthing practices have a very long historical rooting in different various traditional healing systems and practices. So the concept of grounding and earthing is connected to the idea that direct contact with the earth has positive effects on your health and well-being. So this looks like, of course, walking barefoot on the beach, in the grass, in being out in sunlight. I've talked about this many times. First daylight of the morning to kind of roll over, go outside, even if it's cloudy outside, to just be in this energetic movement of the planet arising. The sun is rising. We are rising. So if you have a chance, if your schedule allows you to do this, I strongly recommend you doing this. This is part of a grounding and earthing exercise. And of course, we go back to indigenous and native traditions. Native people and indigenous people, our ancestors have been doing this since the beginning of time. So you're walking barefoot on natural surfaces, for example, sitting or lying down directly on the ground. And, even if it's wintertime, like it's kind of chilly in the Northeast right now, I love to bundle up and just go out in the park, and I'll sit on the bench, or I'll find a nice patch of grass even now. And I'm not laying down for a long time, but just long enough to allow for the earth to support me. And that energizes me. So there are all types of rituals that involve contact with Mother Earth. And these practices are all intertwined, of course, with spiritual beliefs and a deep connection to the natural world. And you've heard me share this with you many times, where we want to be connected to the natural world. We want to be able to be in sync with what's happening beyond our internal lives. And that's another way to really cultivate resilience and cultivate your energetic resilience, is to be in relationship with yourself. Remember to understand the presence of energy. It's in your body all the time. And the more you take time to cultivate that energy source, the more you will feel balanced in life, because the less important the outside noise will become, and the more connected and integrated you will become with the natural world. Nature, trees, flowers, rain, snow, sunlight, a gray day, a day where it's gray, the clouds are gray. That's also a beautiful energy source for us. It's not all about sunrise. It's just being in relationship with the natural world. And the tendency is that you will feel better. You will feel in relationship with what's happening beyond you. And this is important because it has an effect on our mental, emotional, and spiritual health. So if you're staying inside all the time, and if you're with a lot of artificial lighting, that will have a big drain on you. So if you work in those types of environments, that's okay. Just make sure that you balance it. Remember, this is all about working toward increasing balance in our lives. Another approach to resonating with cultivating your inner life force and energy is Ayurvedic medicine. And we've talked about that last week as well. So Ayurveda, that's the traditional system of medicine that originates from ancient India, from India. And the earth is considered one of the 5 elements in Ayurvedic practices. So again, they support walking barefoot on the earth as much as possible, going into the ocean. If you have access to a body of water, I have a little story about that. I went to Atlantic City this past weekend. One of my dear friends is there for a few months, and she says, "Oh, why don't you come visit me?" And so I did. And I went to Atlantic City, and of course, that's where the Atlantic Ocean is. And I was so tempted, to jump into the ocean. Of course, I didn't have anything that was appropriate actually to do this, but I was so tempted to go in that freezing cold water because, of course, you've heard by now how helpful it is to go into these cold waters to reactivate your energy systems. Now, I want to tell you that I'm not good with cold water. I don't like cold plunges. They're super difficult for me. And still, I commit to doing it at least once per week. And I don't do it in the ocean. I do it at my gym because they have a cold plunge. But I want to encourage you to start to experiment with that because you will really feel a difference in your energy system. If you go under the shower, like at the end of your shower, maybe just start to play with adding cold water at the end of your shower. It really does make a huge difference. And you're feeling your energy being ignited because your nervous system, of course, is having a reaction to the cold water. So we have, now it's very common, the Hoffman method is what everybody is buzzing about. It's a worthwhile exploration, I think. But it's nothing new, of course. We've been doing this for centuries and centuries. And Ayurveda, the ancient Indian healing methodology, also encourages cold plunges. So if you have the courage to do it, I really invite you to do it because you will feel rejuvenated, washed, cleansed, energized, just by simply starting to lay under the cold shower. So I don't know if any of you here have ever been in a cold plunge or if you do take a cold shower, but I recommend it. And if you have, maybe you can share a little bit about what your experience was. For me, it's always a big deal because I have a hard time with it, but I do it because it feels so much better. And so finally, we talked about traditional Chinese medicine last week in relationship to the importance of balance and harmony when it comes to connecting with your qi, right? The qi is actually the system of the qi is located on your lower belly, your qi energy center between your belly button and your pubic symphysis bone. That's your qi energy. So there's a lot of movements, Tai Chi, for example, Qigong, that really helps with balancing our energy and creating more resilience in our energetic system. So if you've only heard of Tai Chi and Qigong, but have not explored it, I want to invite you to explore it, especially if you're someone who has a hard time, for example, with seasonal changes. Sometimes weather is very difficult for some people. I know a lot of my friends who are from the Caribbean or from South America and who live in the Northeast. It's taken them years to adapt to this cold, to this change in weather. And for them, it can be very hard. And it's a very real stress on their bodies. So practicing some breath work, some qi and qigong can really help with balancing your energy centers. And finally, there's European folk medicine. And I did some studies around this when I did my cultural anthropology degree at Berkeley. And they talk specifically about walking barefoot on dewy grass surfaces. So don't forget, European folk medicine will be usually in countries that tend to have a little bit more of a cooler relationship to climate. And they recommend walking barefoot on dewy grass or even lying down in areas in the very early morning on dewy grass, and allowing for this healing mechanism to penetrate through your energy system. So it's a very cooling environment, as you can tell, right? So it's not always about heat. Heat is also excellent, although there are different practices that really help us to connect with moisture. So dewy practices, laying or walking barefoot in the morning. And you have to be mindful when you practice these, because for some of you, if you're not accustomed to this, it might actually be too much. So you want to start gently, always slowly and gently. Okay, I wanted to share with you an image. Sophia says, I'm very scared of cold water dips, but I will try it whenever the situation arises or whenever I find the courage. Your excitement makes me want to try it. Yes, I'm with you, Sophia. Me too. It's like, every time. But when I was at the ocean this weekend, I was like, oh my God, like I would love to have the courage, right? Or the nerve to just jump right into that Atlantic Ocean. And I'm gonna commit to doing it. You know, if not this year, at least next year. I've done it before, but it's been a long time. Now I do it more in a much more septic environment. You know, at my gym, there is a cold plunge, so I will go there, and it's amazing. But to kind of go, you know, in the ocean, the salty water, there's all these extra benefits to all of this. So thank you for your comment, Sophia. And on that note, I'm going to show you what some of the benefits can be to this grounding and earthing. And let me just share this diagram with you. I hope that you can see this. Let me know if you're having trouble seeing this. Pranjal says she is over scared. Yes, me too, Pranjal, me too. I am over scared of cold water. But once you do it, you really do become more courageous. And I think it's very healthy to do so. Okay, my friends, I just wanted to show you overall, when we practice grounding and earthing practices, it has significant benefits for your physical body. Starting with the face, improves circulation. Our appearance, that's a pretty interesting one. Our appearance and our mood. If you do those cold plunges, Sophia, it will improve your appearance, meaning we look energetic, right? We look energized. Our faces light up, of course, because it's so cold, and it's so good for your skin. When it comes to aging, it slows free radical damage associated with age. Cold plunges, earthing practices, grounding practices also helps with respiration, improves blood oxygen, enhances cell functions. That's a huge one, everyone. Enhancing your cell functionality, and it helps with asthma relief. Did you know that cold plunges, when done intelligently, carefully, in balance, will help with asthma relief? So if any of you suffer from respiratory issues, consider it. Also, walking barefoot at appropriate times. It will help with your digestion, calms your upset stomach. It helps with your reproductive system, regulates your hormone rhythms, your endocrine system. It also helps with your bones. It balances calcium metabolism and reduces osteoporosis. This is a big deal for all of us, but especially women who are going through menopause, even before that, but certainly during menopause, mid 40s to 50s, we start to lose bone mass. It starts before that, but it's significant during those years. When it comes to chronic diseases, of course, grounding and earthing prevents inflammation, especially the cold plunges, right? You can see why that would be. On the level of stress, it will balance your nervous system. It reduces stress. It lowers your blood pressure. All of these grounding and earthing practices reduces muscle pain after exercise, which is why I do it. So I go in the cold plunge and I go in the hot tub. I do both. And I have to tell you that I feel really, really good. And I train pretty consistently. I'm in the gym 5 to 6 times a week, and I train I would say above average difficult, and I don't have significant muscle pain. It helps with injuries. It enhances your immune system and will speed up any wounding that you have, any type of scars, any type of wounds that you might have incurred from some sort of accident, or falling off your bike or falling down, or any type of wounding that you have. And I want to say that it's not just physical wounding, but also internal wounding. If you have pain in your heart, if you have pain in your mind, that type of wounding, earthing and grounding is also very good for this. It will also help with your joints, reduces painful joint pain and inflammation. And finally, enhances electrical sensitivity. It reduces the body's voltage due to the electrical environment and charge of Mother Earth. So it increases overall energy. And if you're flying, by the way, if we are flying, any type of grounding exercise that I've talked about will help with jet lag, because it enhances your bioelectrical processes. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, let me go back here and get rid of this for a moment. Thank you, Nelson. Okay, so these are the benefits of grounding and earthing. So walking barefoot in the grass, walking barefoot in dewy grass in the morning, getting up, getting out into the light of day, lying down on the earth, even if it's winter time or the fall. Make sure you're really warm, right? You wear your big jackets and you lay down on the ground. Connect with Mother Earth, connect with the sky. Be in natural environments. It's so important. You want to do cold plunges or start trying to do cold plunges. Same thing with your hot tub. I go in both. I do hot tub, relaxes my muscles. Then I go into the cold plunge, and my energy is really, I can really feel it. Remember, one of the ways for us to increase and connect with our with increasing resiliency for our energy system is to know and understand that it's already present. It's not something that you're going to get out there. It's something that's already in here. And all we have to do is to cultivate it, to be in relationship with it. And furthermore, aside from the earthing and grounding, of course, everything that you put in your body is going to help to balance that. So for me, for example, when it starts to get chilly, like now, my favorite time of year, I tend to drink broths in the morning. So for breakfast, I will literally have a miso soup, and I will add bok choy or spinach or kale. But that's what I have in the morning for my breakfast. I'll also have oatmeal, but I tend to stay away from cold foods in the morning when it starts to get chilly outside. It just heals me, right? So the first thing I do, I have my hot water with lemon, I add turmeric and other things that I have on hand. And then if I'm hungry, and I usually am a couple of hours in, I will have a beautiful, delicious broth with vegetables. And I love having that in the morning. And I started doing that when I was in Japan many, many years ago, because I love, first of all, Japanese broths and the food that they make, but especially the broths, because they're so healthy and there's so many vegetables in it. So that's one option for you if you feel like you want to connect, do your earthing and grounding through what you put in your body is equally important. Okay, my second offering to you today is, we talked about it a little bit last week. If you're looking at my social media, you will have seen some posts around how to heal using crystals. Stones. So for example, this is one bowl. I have one bowl of, I have all kinds of stones in here. I don't know if you can see, but I use these stones around my house. I just put them in this little bowl. I have them in my living room. I have some on my windowsill, all kinds of different types of crystals and stones. And the reason, and these, by the way, are from all over the world, where I've traveled everywhere, and I've made an exchange with Mother Earth. So usually if I took one of the stones on the beach or in the forest, I would give a lock of my hair. There's a This is a very indigenous way of being in relationship with Mother Earth, that we trade. So if I take something, I give something. So usually it would be a lock of hair, and then I would kind of bury it in the earth and then thank Mother Earth for providing healing stones and rocks for me. So this is one of my little bowls that I have. I'm sure some of you must have these as well. And I'm also wearing today a beautiful piece that one of my clients gave me. Tatiana Desardouin is a fabulous, beautiful choreographer, artist, creative. The name of her company is Passion Fruit. You might want to look her up. And she does all kinds of really cool educational programs through dance. And she's also a jewelry maker. And so she made me this beautiful amethyst piece here that I wanted to share with you, because part of the crystals that we're going to explore in one moment start with amethyst. And I wanted to show this to you today. Hopefully you can see this. And the first one on our list actually is amethyst. Now, these stones have healing properties. So for example, amethyst is the stone of spirituality and sobriety. It is believed to quicken spiritual growth and inspire healing powers and intuition. When you wear amethyst, you connect with deeper subconscious feelings. We have aventurine green. Aventurine is the stone of luck or chance, increases intuition, perception, and foresight. It eliminates fear and promotes a positive attitude. This stone attracts money and helps to heal and stabilize emotions. Aventurine green is also, if you know about Irish culture at all, Irish folk culture, you know about the the four-leafed clover, and that's brings a lot of luck. So you know the Lucky Charm, and they have these very very much connected to the color green in Irish culture. This is one of the stones that you can cultivate and bring home and purchase somewhere, or have someone give you as a gift, or you offer it to someone as a gift who feels like they need more positivity in their life. Green is a very healing, positive color. Carnelian. The carnelian stone is known to help with self-esteem. It's a powerful motivator. It helps you to overcome parts of your personality that may be holding you back. Isn't that interesting? Carnelian. Citrine. Citrine is a really great stone. I have that at home. And it's known as the success stone because it promotes prosperity and abundance. It energizes and invigorates, increasing motivation and creativity. I love citrine. I have citrine in my house. I connect to it all the time. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll just hold it in my hands and I'll do a meditation or some sort of incantation to assist me with increasing motivation in my life. Now, of course, the clear quartz, many of you know the quartz. This one is known as the master healer that amplifies energy and thought. It's a really popular stone. I encourage all of you to get a clear quartz and to sit it on either on your desk or on your windowsill, and allow for its energy to bring you all this good health and energizing balance in your life. Blue howlite. Blue howlite has the ability to calm your anger. This is for those of you who are struggling with anger in your life, or because you absorb anger that's directed toward you. This is a soothing energy stone. It reduces tension and anxiety in the body. Also, you can hold this stone in your hand as you are meditating, as you are incanting, as you are saying affirmations, especially if you're dealing with anger in your life. Sodalite is the stone of athletics. It stimulates endurance, promotes peace and harmony, and apparently is lucky for writers and can help public speakers to communicate more clearly. So sodalite is related to expression, right? Expressing your voice, expressing a lot of movement for athletics, right? So you're very active, you're out there. So sodalite is another stone that I work with a whole lot. The rose quartz is another beautiful stone that I wear sometimes. This one is known for love. It's the love stone. It attracts romance and opens your heart to love. So if you're looking for love, my friends, connect with the rose quartz. And finally, tiger eye. That is a beautiful, beautiful stone. And it's a healing stone. And it helps with emotional disorder, relieving doubt, giving you strength and clarity in your life. And it's said to be especially helpful if you're feeling unfocused. This stone promotes insight and releases negative energy. So there you have it. I hope that this information, you might have known this, by the way, right? This is nothing new. These are methodologies that have been used forever and ever, although that as we move more and more into a technological era, we tend to forget about these natural healing tools that we have right at our disposition. They're very easy to use. They're right there. So, a lot of the time, I have a little quartz here, and what I'll do is I'll just, put it in my hands and I'll just hold it. And I'll say a prayer, or I'll do my meditation with it, or I'll ask for support or help in my life with this beautiful quartz that I have here. It's just a little ball, right? And then I have other types that I also use to help promote health and energy. And understanding that your energy source is already present within you, it's already in your body. Remember, that's step number one. All you need to do is tap into it, cultivate it by using earthing, grounding practices, hot baths, cold baths, walking in nature, on the ground, in the grass, on the rocks. Take the time to move into these energetic practices. They make a huge difference. And especially if you're fragile mentally, emotionally, you need, in French, we say ressourcement, to resource ourselves, to tap into the natural world around us. And if you're consistent with this, just watch how your life starts to change. Every single day, every single action, my friends, counts. Every single word, every single breath. Imagine if you can't breathe for an extended amount of time, right? What happens? You die. So without being morbid about it, what I want to invite you into is to really make your life about every single breath, every moment. Take the time to use the tools that are available to you. Nature, communicate with nature, speak to trees, communicate with your plants. Do your, your gentle Tai Chi or Qigong in the morning, or maybe you just do natural movements yourselves. You don't need to follow anything except for yourself, because your energetic source is already present in your body. I hope that this made sense and that this was helpful. Let's see. Annalise says, tomorrow I'm going to go in search of a carnelian. Yes, awesome. Yes, you will find one. And, Annalise, there is a store in New York City on Christopher Street. I know you're not in New York City, but I'm just sharing this with you because it's a store that's called Sticks, Stones, and Bones. And it's been there forever. It has, it's been there for many, many years. And they have all kinds of these beautiful stones. It's a Native American store. And I usually will go there to get my stones because I know that they cultivate them, they get them from different First Nation people, and there's a relationship where they give back to the community. So I think that's also another positive when we get our stones to assist us. Or anything like feathers, I have some peace pipes and some feathers that I use in ceremony myself. And so I encourage you to purchase from places where you can actually be in relationship with the people who sell it, because a lot of the time they are in direct relationship with these First Nation cultures and areas where they actually purchase from them. So it's a win-win-win situation. So thank you for sharing that. That makes me happy, Anali. All right, next week, my friends, we are going to take a much deeper dive into the actual pathways of energy medicine. What is energy medicine? How can we use it to help us, again, increase the quality of our vibrational frequency in the world? So next week is all about energy medicine. We're going taking a deep dive. I hope that you will join me. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. I always appreciate it if you invite people to join us. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Always helps with the algorithms to get to spread the word more in the world for people who want to learn about mind, body alignment medicine and to assist themselves in really tapping into their own healing powers. This is what this is all about. How can we heal ourselves? By making small, incremental, meaningful, important shifts in our lives. Thank you so much for being here. Much love to everyone. I will see you next week, same place, same time. Bye for now.